350 miles south of Silicon Valley, here in Santa Monica, entrepreneurs come in very different forms. Many of them are actually entertainers.
They change the way that we perceive the world, how we use technology, and shape our future.
So many now turn to social media, Instagram, Vine, YouTube, Twitter and Facebook to establish their brands and succeed as entertainers.
And in this episode, we're going to be looking at how those YouTube celebrities do their craft and how they impact your lives. Los Angeles and Santa Monica are home to the rich and famous, and one of the rising stars of Irish baking, Gemma Stafford, who's followed by millions on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. James headed over to her Santa Monica kitchen to see what's cooking.
My name is Gemma Stafford and I am the creator of Bigger Bolder Baking.
And you are from Wexford, is that correct?
I am from Wexford, kind of around outside Wexford town on the Rosslare Road. Hi Bowl Bakers, it's kind of hard to believe, but Bigger Bolder Baking is 2 years old today, and we are going to celebrate by making the most impressive vanilla birthday cake with buttercream frosting. So let's get baking. I trained as a professional chef in Ireland. I went to Colbrew Street and I studied professional cookery. I went to Ballymaloe and spent some time there. And for my whole entire professional career, food has been my career. My husband always gets mad, but food is what I know. It's the only thing I know. And when at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, well, I'm going to use what God gave me. It's like I know how to cook.
And cooking has given Gemma a career others could only dream of. Working from home and launching a YouTube channel and blog that has seen her grabbing headlines year after year, from Yahoo to the Daily Mail.
I was catering for these big tech companies. It was really, really fun, but it was still like early mornings. It was still in the kitchens. It was on your feet. It was all that sort of stuff that I was trying to get away from. So when I met my husband, we decided that why don't we make something? Why don't we marry the two things that we're passionate about? I'm passionate about food and Kevin is passionate about production and creating. So why don't we marry two of them together? So that's what we did, and that's what we did. That's what we set out to do. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know about how to produce. I didn't know how to host a show. I'm still learning how to do it. But all of these skills that we didn't have, we had to make it up as we went along. We didn't even know if we were going to create our own videos. We didn't know. But what we just started to do was create. And that was kind of where it started from.
And what we've seen in the last 2.5 years is that you have gone from just this little idea to something that is a global phenomenon. What's been, I suppose, the biggest surprise or the biggest shock for you when it comes to response through social media?
I think what was the biggest thing and what was hard for me at the start was people trying to people talking to you and saying to you these are great recipes, I love them, and thank you so much, you're inspiring. It took a long time for that to sink into me, because you can write anything. Paper doesn't refuse ink. Do you know what I mean? You can write anything you want. So it didn't make it true.
Combining Silicon Valley tech tenacity and LA star quality, Stafford's brand has propelled her to YouTube monetization and now product placement opportunities. But it has been a long journey.
You're going to, as an entrepreneur starting out doing something like this, you're going to go broke. Then you're going to blow through all your savings. Then you're going to make some money. And then you're going to go through all that. And then you're going to make some money again. And I remember before we started, thinking, oh, there's no way we're doing that. And all gone. We went through all of our money. We made some. We've put it all back into the business. So we are still going. We're going strong. We have been very fortunate to work with a lot of different brands and things like that. And we have AdSense from YouTube. But the reality of it is, like, you were technically a startup. Like, we are entrepreneurs, and we like have like growing pains, and like sometimes you're waiting for checks to come in. Like, I'd be lying to you if I said that wasn't the truth. Honest to God, I would.
So he wanted to see Gemma put her money where her mouth is. So I tested some of her bigger, bolder baking with my best Mary Berry bake-off mindset. To see.
I couldn't have an Irish person come to my house without giving them scones.
Cheers.
Cheers, Sláinte.
Oh, good.
Is it good? My mummy gave me that recipe.
With James eating happily away, I popped down the road in the ever-challenging LA traffic to meet up with the talented Cynthia Johnson. So Cynthia, you're a leading digital strategist in the US. How are you working with entrepreneurs to change the world?
I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, mentoring them, right? So they have these great ideas, but a lot of times not the capabilities to fulfill them. So I'll help them with their PR strategy or scaling. I take on 2 or 3 at a time per quarter.
So I know you've worked with amazing causes. What are some of those causes and how have you helped them?
So I've worked with the Charlotte and Gwyneth Gray Foundation to cure Batten disease, which is a very rare disease that kills children all throughout the world. And the other one that I work with is UN Women LA. And a big part of what I do is get their message out there and also help make sure that they have a conversion funnel set up so that they're accepting donations properly and not losing money.
So how did that work? What were the steps you helped them with?
For the Cure Batten one, they were sending out PayPal links, for instance, which was actually the drop-off for donations was significant, simply because people didn't want to fill out the form all the way. So going in and finding a crowdfunding company that was willing to, not take money from them in order to use their service was the first step. So that way when they had big celebrities tweet or send things out, it was actually converting. Turning into money, really. Snapchat was really the big beginning of all of this, right? Being able to share real, in the moment, images, pictures, videos, and so on, and having people have an instant reaction to them, and also knowing that they're mobile and being on their phone. So mobility and video, when you add an audience, that has to have a global impact.
What are the benefits and challenges of being a woman in the tech world?
Oh, well, the benefits are that women are now getting together and saying, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do it together. We're not going to fight each other. So that's been very helpful because it's developing lots of new opportunities and awareness, which creates more opportunity. On the other side of that, it's been a man's world for a very long time. And I think being able to, raise funds or money, or get PR, it's really about having a connection with someone, and men more easily connect with men, just as women, I think, will more easily connect with women. So we're at a slight disadvantage now, but I think the more that we can come together, the more of an advantage we'll have in the end. UN Women LA is a chapter of UN Women. And UN Women is a global initiative by the UN to bring to life or to tell the stories of all of the challenges for women across the globe. And so on the digital side, we're now able to connect all of the stories and tell them in many different places. So, in LA, we can tell the story of things happening in London or in Africa because we're connected, and it all scales right back to their landing page, their information, versus us having to sort of put it out there and say, trust us, we actually do work with them. I guess the connectivity is what's really been helpful.
Cynthia's role as mentor to entrepreneurs and innovators allows her to raise tens of thousands of dollars for charities across California. She's not the only one who's having an impact on the world. So is Irish actor Gavin Ferry, now based in LA. Do you think organic farming can really change the world? And how do you see it doing that?
Yes, I really do think it's going to have a huge impact in the world. I think in future even more so to come, because people are getting more adaptable now with organic food, and they know it's available instead of using all these pesticides. So more people are going to start growing their own food. Farmers are going to have to start using less pesticides on food because people aren't going to buy stuff that's not good for their body. So I really do think that more and more into the years to come, that organic farming is going to be the next big thing.
Ferry's newfound passion with his series TG4 Woofing has taken him to nearly every continent on the face of the earth. So as a successful LA actor, how are you promoting organic farming?
Well, the only way I can promote organic farming is through the show itself, like traveling the world myself and with my co-host. I think it's important for us to show what we can do ourselves and what we learn on the farms as we travel around the world. And a lot of people, say in Ireland or in Europe or even here in America, don't really know much about organic farming itself. You basically go to the store, you buy whatever you can. Now I think organic farming is becoming more popular for people because they're trying to eat more healthy, and kids, especially parents now with their kids, they want to make sure they're not obese, and there was a big huge issue before with obesity, and I think there still is, but our organic farming now is becoming more popular and we have to tell as hosts and as people do what we can do to help, say, the next generation or kids and so on eat healthier and food that's not covered with pesticides or anything like that. So to eat really healthy and become more aware of organic products and stuff that's out there for sale.
How important do you think it is to filmmakers, entertainers and hosts to actually be making content that changes and impacts people's lives?
Well, right now I think everybody, no matter what you want to do, if it's going to be a show on organic farming, if it's going to be a show on anything, how you're going to portray that to impact other people. So I think it's important for anybody who, depending on what they want to do, what the context is as well. Yes. That really is going to depend on how the viewers accept it and if they would change their mind. So for us, like organic farming, it's something that we can put out to people and then they get to see that and they go, oh wow, I can actually do this myself. I can actually grow this at home. I can do this, or I can start up my own farm. So you're getting to change people's minds. So I think it has a huge impact through filming, through TV, the industry itself, and then through social media, that also works too. So it's a big impact on that.
We head to Santa Monica Pier to ask the LA locals what they thought about social media and these growing entrepreneur spheres. Do you see celebrities nowadays as not just being Hollywood, but also YouTube and social media?
I think with the amount of influence that the biggest YouTubers have, they can definitely be considered celebrities.
And would you focus more on what they do with branding and endorsement rather than just like a Hollywood A-lister?
I actually do feel like I trust YouTubers more than I trust normal celebrities because I started watching YouTube as a kid, so feel like more of a relationship with them.
I actually think that because YouTubers and people on social media are so much more accessible than the A-listers, I feel like they have more impact on society and what's trending now.
Also, it's more like they came from where we are. They're just normal people, so it's theoretically you could do that too.
I don't know, because I don't really watch too much YouTube stuff unless I'm trying to learn something, so I'm not a big follower of all the celebrities on YouTube, but...
So what do you use YouTube for?
Mostly if I need to learn something, learn how to cook a steak or a filet mignon, or learn how to do a dance trick or something, I'll look up everything on YouTube for that.
And what do you do here in LA?
I'm visiting.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Miami. From one coast to another.
Absolutely. I couldn't help but notice you were on your phone as you were walking past. What were you doing on your phone?
Talking to my sister.
Okay.
But I'm always on the phone for either work or for talking to people.
I look at YouTube only sometimes and only some kind of video. Because my brother tells me, look at this video, and so I watch. Or maybe he shares the videos with WhatsApp, and so.
Do you think technology in our lives is a good thing, or it's a bad thing, or maybe a double-edged sword?
I think it's a good thing, but I hate it because I can't use it quite good. And so I try, but I'm not so able. And sometimes I forgot my telephone in the car or at home, and I leave all the same. And so I have no problems.
I mean, in the beginning when cell phones came out, it was great, I could get the gig before someone else can because I don't have a beeper. But then I see these kids that are looking at their phone all the time. They're not looking at the whales. They're not looking at anything. They're more excited about how many posts they have. I found myself 8 hours looking if somebody wrote to me a message on Facebook or Instagram, But after a while, you realize just don't upgrade your phone and you'll see that you'll look at it a lot less. I mean, I almost lost my girlfriend to this phone. I'm like, that's all I get now. I don't get real answers.
The phone and technology evolution has combined TV, radio and internet in our pocket. One LA resident, Brian Fanzo, is using his success with the same technology and social media to impact kids' charities in California.
So I like to think, for me, I like to amplify great things that people are doing and really tell their story to the world. And I think we often focus too much on the bad or what's in the news. And I try to take and focus, rather than even dealing with the bad, I focus on trying to amplify the good. So helping people tell their story in a format that is comfortable to them, in my opinion, allows more good into the world, which hopefully impacts the world.
So what are some social issues that you've been able to work with and amplify and help them get their message out?
So I'm on the social council for No Kid Hungry, and so we're trying to rid in America kids that are going without food, and right now it's an epidemic, and so we're working with chefs and restaurants and different influencers really to highlight what they're doing, and half the time it's just really about getting the word out that people are doing these kind of things and how people can help, and ultimately the people are willing to donate and participate. I think most of the time the problem is they just don't know about it or how they can help.
I have a chance to see them get engaged. I have a chance to see them come in, and some of them are hungry. And to some of them, it's the only meal. And it makes that much more of a difference when I see them coming in and they're excited and full of energy. Say, hey, what are we having today, Mr. Taylor?
So for me, it's about understanding, first identifying where your audience is, and then figuring out what's the best format for delivering that. So it could be social media, it could be video, it could be a collaboration of those. You could work with influencers who happen to be, very strong in that direct, demographic or maybe even that industry. And then it's about connecting the dots. I like to say we start by defining what success is, and then ultimately we back down and say, where's the community, and how can we relate this message with the community? So I think live streaming is the great equalizer. I think we've always looked at video as the dynamic that really separates, really the noise. We can really, you can share your passion, you can see people what they love, you can talk with your hands like I do. And I think before, the enterprise companies, the big boys, had the big videos, the ads on TV, the commercials, but really the small businesses, they're the ones with the stories, the entrepreneurs, the people that are doing charities or social good. And now they're able to do it with simply just click of a button on their phone and get that message out there, use Twitter, and you don't have to be following someone. They don't even have to have a big following on social. Ultimately, someone can discover that, share that with their network. And I think live video today, like we see it, I call it participatory content because it's not only broadcasting, but it's allowing your community to actually have a say and shape your content. And I think that's the future. Who doesn't want to participate in really what their favorite brands or their favorite charities are doing? So I think it's interesting. I think, the Red Bulls of the world kind of get the biggest claim to fame. But I think little brands like, not little brands, but brands like Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts has done a great job of kind of showing where they contribute. I think Cisco, if you look at the hashtag #WeAreCisco, they actually show what their employees are doing for, donating, their time on the weekends or, how they're, contributing to charities. And it's really, for me, it's about giving access to all the good things you're doing. I mean, live video really doesn't make anything happen. It's amplifying what you're already doing. That's great. So Cisco's a great one. Dunkin' Donuts is a good one. There's a couple other ones that that are, I think Converse does that with what percentage of their shoes are getting donated. Things like environmental aspects. So there's some really interesting brands. I can't wait to see a year from now how many more brands are doing it.
Heading away from Santa Monica, we paid a visit to Shira Lazar, founder of What's Trending, and her partner Bart Baker, one of the most famous faces on YouTube with billions of views.
They are a power couple in the social media world. Murray examines how they are using their brands and companies to help children in need.
I'm Shira Lazar, and I have a company called What's Trending. We're a media brand for millennials and a digital publisher. We create social video and specifically focus around live streaming.
I have a big YouTube channel called Bart Baker. I do music video parodies, and I just recently got into Musically and Lively and all this craziness that's happening on there. And that's one of my primary focuses as well right now.
Yeah, through what I love doing, which is broadcasting, and I guess I get to meet and talk to people every day. So through that passion, I hope to use that to impact people. And luckily with social media, you can do that. So and as a company with What's Trending, we try to create ways to do that all the time through our programs, whether it be with Fortune 500 brands or just like as doing a live stream for a big nonprofit. So we really try to figure out how to bring nonprofits into this space to We also work with nonprofits to bring them into this space too, to create big impact with a new generation. Muscular Dystrophy Association approached us, and they had also never done a social media campaign, and we created something from scratch for them. And not only did we have those musicians doing performances, but we had influencers sharing their Live Unlimited stories. So it was all part of a Live Unlimited launch day, and to share how you live unlimited. And it's beyond just having muscular dystrophy. We all live unlimited in our own way. And it was really cool to see a new crop of talent connecting with a traditional organization that they'd never been connected with. There's so many different ways for people to get involved this day and age, and that's what we also tell nonprofits to be very specific in terms of their ask. If you want someone to just share something, say that. But if you have like 10 different asks within one post, it's going to be really hard to get your message across.
People are listening, so there's no reason not to do it. I mean, it's kind of a, basically, it's a good thing to do. And there's a lot of people who are millions of people watching and millions of people subscribing. And if you can give back, I feel like, why wouldn't you want to do that? So that's why we've been involved with these things. It's like, it's perfect for that.
Yeah, I also think what we do, it's a never-ending machine. At a certain point, you ask yourself, why? Like, why do we do all this? Why do we put all this effort? Obviously, yeah, you can get followers and make a living and make money, which is then you could get a great place to live and you could hopefully maybe support your family. But I think there's something bigger that actually I try to find within what I do. And so I feel when I'm involved in these types of programs and you see the impact you can have, it makes me realize that there is something bigger to what I'm doing. I'm doing it for more than myself.
Gemma and Gavin are a long way from Donegal and Wexford, but are breaking the glass ceiling and having an impact in California.
Cynthia, Brian, Bart and Shearer are leading the way as social media stars, combining the tech prowess of Silicon Valley with the out-there entertainment side of LA.
You decide. How are you having an impact?
Where, why, how, with whom, and when, it's up to you.